Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
The Lord is my strength, and He will make my feet for perfection, and lead me to high places, which will give me victory in His song. Please continue watching to find out more.
Warmest greetings, benevolent viewers. I am Vladimir. If you visit Sakha, you will be greeted with Здравствуйте. That means hello in Russian. The peace-loving people of the Republic of Sakha are thankful for your noble deeds that benefit fellow beings. May your actions be ever guided by the uplifting principles of the Most High. Hryhorii Skovoroda was an 18th century philosopher, poet and composer of religious music. A number of his writings can be found in his songs, several of which have been adapted to Ukrainian folk music. Skovoroda's work contributed to the culture of both Russia and Ukraine. He has been called Socrates, both as a moralist and one whose Socratic style is intended to stimulate thought and self-introspection. At the same time, Skovoroda's writings are imaginative, witty and dramatic, with themes that highlight happiness and appreciation of life. Skovoroda did not seek to have his work published while he was still alive. He was more concerned with living in a manner true to the moral values upheld in his writings. 3 days prior to his death, Skovoroda went to stay with one of his closest friends. Each day he left the house and it was discovered that he was digging his own burial place beneath a tree. On the 3rd day he announced that his time had come and he simply lay down and passed away. At his request, his epitaph said, "The world tried to capture me, but didn't succeed." In recognition of his works and numerous contributions, Hryhorii Skovoroda's portrait was printed on the second largest banknote in circulation in Ukraine, the 500 hryvnia note. We now share with you excerpts from his writings in a conversation among 5 travelers concerning life's true happiness. God's power is with us. We have peace with God. A man who has fallen into a pit or into deep waters thinks not of the difficulties but of saving himself. If you build a house, build it for both parts of your being, body and soul. If you deck and adorn the body, do not forget the heart. There are 2 kinds of bread, houses, garments, 2 kinds of everything. All things come in twos, so that there are 2 men in each man, 2 fathers, the heavenly and the earthly, 2 worlds, the original and the temporal, and 2 natures, the divine and the bodily, in all things. If one mixes them together and acknowledges only the visible nature, one falls into homegrown idolatry. This is precisely what the Holy Bible prevents, by acting as an arch that transcends all perishability and as a gate that leads our hearts to the faith of the true conception of God, to the hope of divine nature, and the kingdom of peace and love, the original world. And this is enduring peace, to believe in and recognize the ruling nature and to depend on it, as on an invincible city, and to think, "My God, the Lord lives." Then you will say, "And my soul lives." Without this, how can you depend on perishable nature? How can you avoid trembling when you see that all perishable things appear and disappear at every instant? Who would not be upset watching the perishing truth of being? Such people should not await peace, but should listen to Isaiah. They are troubled and cannot rest. There is no rejoicing for the wicked, says the Lord God. Look and see who ascends the mountain of peace. The Lord is my strength, and He will make my feet for perfection and lead me to high places, which will give me victory in His song. He acknowledges the Lord and sings before those who do not see Him, and God leads him to the mountain of peace. To deny the Lord is the most tormenting distress and the heart's death. The work of the lips is the illness of the heart, and the illness of the heart is death, which is put in the heads of the wicked, and this natural death, which with its sting kills the soul, is the confusion between perishable and divine nature, and this confused mixture is a deviation from the divine nature in the direction of dust and ashes, as it's written, "Your food will turn to dust." The deviation is the fall, as it is written. Who can understand the fall? Here is what Sirach says of sin. The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion, slaying the souls of men. This is darkness, this is going astray, this is misfortune. You see where bodily nature has brought us, what comes of the confusion of natures. This is the native idolatrous frenzy and deviation from divine nature and ignorance about God. The well-known grief of this kind of heart is that we do not care for anything except the body's good, and if one lifts up one's eyes even slightly toward the blessed nature, we immediately cry out, "It is difficult, difficult." This is to call sweet bitter, but the righteous man lives by faith. And what is faith but the disclosure and clarification of the unseen nature as grasped by the heart? And is this not to be the Israel that is dear to us and divides everything into two and dedicates the invisible half of all visible things to the Lord? Paul sings about this to the lucky man, and as many as walk according to this rule, peace be upon them and mercy. The kingdom of blessed nature, although it is hidden, is not undetectable behind the external signs. It stamps its footprints on empty matter like the truest image in the oils of a painting. All matter is but painted mud, muddied paint and picturesque powder. But blessed nature is the beginning or principle itself, that is, a beginningless invention or contrivance, and the wisest delineation that supports all the visible colors. These fit their imperishable strength and essence as clothes fit the body. David himself calls the appearance of things a garment. All of them shall wax old like a garment. And he calls the image a handbreadth, a surveyor's chain, the right hand or the truth. Beauty is in thy right hand. You have measured in handbreadths. Thy right hand upholds me. The truth of the Lord endures forever. I looked at my body as well with the same sight. The hands have made me and fashioned me. He avoids the moving water of his perishability. Our soul will cross the raging waters, and its thought will penetrate into the very power and kingdom concealed in the dust of his right hand, and will cry, "The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" Blessed is the man whom thou choosest, and causest to approach unto thee. Happy is he who has flown over into the kingdom of blessed nature. On this Paul says, "We walk on earth, but turn to the heavens. Solomon writes of the same world. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God, and there shall no torment touch them. Wondrous viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company on today's Words of Wisdom. May your spiritual journey be graced by heaven to reveal the inner truth for the soul's highest peace and understanding.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Naše programy nabízejí více jazyků. Prosím, navštivte suprememastertv.com/schedule a suprememastertv.com/WOW